Same thing again.
Hi, this is Gordon De Silva. I'm here with our chief roofing engineer, Ken, who visited a property a couple of days ago and took some pictures of their roof to do a report for the owner. After the report, the owner got the work done. So this is, if you like, the history of the job. So I've got Ken here with me. Ken, just talk us through some of these photographs, if you could, please.
Yes, thank you, Gordon. Yes, I attended this roof and did a roof inspection, and I made the customer quite aware that the roof was showing visible signs of wear and tear. And there was lots of moss and liching on the roof in various places. I say the roof's probably about 60 years old, approximate age. The cement work was quite bad in some areas, but there was some broken tiles on the back of the property. I would say probably caused by the wind, because tiles at this age become brittle and thin. The weather just wears them down. You can see by the way the lichens growing in amongst there, they've been like it for quite a while.
Yeah, great. The next photograph, what's that? That's the tiles you've taken out.
Yes, I removed the tiles. You can see the watermarks there where the water's been ingressing into the property, where the tile's been broken for a long, long time. The white areas there is from the rain.
Great.
Then these were the two tiles that I put back into place. They're a matching tile. They're a bog standard concrete tile, readily available. That I replaced the two that were broken.
So why do you take pictures before and after, Ken? What are the benefits of that for the
Well,
client?
it shows the customer that the damage was already there before we turned up, so we haven't sort of made the work ourselves.
And you find that that's been a problem on other jobs you've been to where maybe less reputable roofers have been on?
Yes, I find it quite a lot that once the roofer is on a person's roof, it's a bit of a grey area for most homeowners, and these guys just make work for themselves while they're up there that can run into many thousands of pounds. They make up work that's not really there.
And so before you did this work, had you made the client aware of what there was before you actually stepped on the roof or before you did any of the work?
No, from the ground it wasn't that visible. You could see the roof was old, but by the wear and tear signs that were up there. But I wasn't really aware of how bad the roof was. So I actually got on top of it off my ladders. Then I saw then what the problems were on her roof.
Great. Let's look at the next picture. What is that?
The front of the house, there was the guttering. There was all weeds, some moss and liching. That you could see the weeds from the ground level that were growing up about several inches high, as you can see by this
Yeah.
picture there. And as you got up onto the roof, I could see then exactly how bad. Because when the roof ages, the protective coating grit that is on the tiles gets washed down into the gutters. If these aren't cleaned regularly, probably every 2, 3, 4 years, it acts like a fertiliser and a compost, and the seeds that the birds drop just germinate in the gutters, and you get weeds and grass growing in gutters.
What's the downside of that, Ken?
Well, too much of it, and the weight will pull the clips and the guttering out the fascia and soffit boards. This will result in major damage to the soffits and fascia boards, and of course, anybody walking underneath at the time it actually falls could have an awful bump on their heads.
Sure. So it's not just an eyesore. It's actually a
Yes, yes,
costly damage as
it
well.
is. Yes, because then it results probably having a scaffold up there, taking all the fascia and soffit boards down that are damaged and replacing them, which could be quite an expensive thing to undertake.
Yeah, I can see that. What about this photo? What is that about?
This is the soffits and fascia balls around the whole of the property, and total lack of maintenance. They haven't been painted for years and years, and the resulting damage will mean they have to be replaced if they're not done pretty quickly. Once they would get to a certain stage, they have to be replaced, and the bill could run into thousands of pounds to replace these.
What is the purpose of a soffit board? What does it protect?
It's just where the roof and the building joins together, and when the guttering sits in it, it's part of the roof line, because the roof overhangs the building itself. So the soffit board is there to take the guttering
Okay.
and watertight where the roof joins the brick building itself.
And if it wears, what damage does that cause?
Oh, it allowing water to ingress into the property, that damp, things like this into the property itself, damage to paintwork, damage to carpet, furniture.
Great, thank you. That's more, I presume.
Yes, this is all the same soffits and fascia boards from various angles around the property as I inspected the customer's roof.
Now we're back on the roof here. What does that show?
This is the cement work on the ridge tiles on part of the property. You can see by the moss and the liching that's there, it's just old aged, and the cement work could last 5 years to 105 years. It really depends on how it was mixed up at the time, but a good sign of age is the moss and liching that's attaching itself to the cement work now, which means the ridge tiles basically their weight is keeping them there rather than the cement work. So
And I presume some roofers would actually say those tiles need replacing just because they look a bit dirty.
Yes, I mean, this could run into a couple of £1,000 quite easily from a unscrupulous roofing contractor who would hit on a person who's not really aware of their roof, and they show them pictures like this and they really put the frighteners on them. Again, this is another picture of the same area of the roof there, of the litching. You can see by the tile should be really a bright red, but that's the age of the tile there, and the litching has attached itself to it because they become quite porous as they get older and brittle. They do break quite easily. This is what I put in there. It's a temporary stop. It's an industrial adhesive that we use that doesn't shrink or crack, and it will sit there for as long as the roof stays there. That will hold those tiles in place to keep them watertight.
So looking at this roof, Ken, I mean, what would you say in terms of preparing the client for ongoing works that may become necessary? What would you have said to this client?
Well, I would say to her, you're going to suffer broken tiles in the next several years. I would say because they are very, very brittle. And you're going to find the ridge tiles you can see in this picture here, they will start to slip and fall off and finish up in the front garden. So it will require maintenance, I would say, quite regularly to keep it watertight. But the roof hasn't got many years left in it. If I said 7 to 10, I might be wrong, but it is looking that it needs to be replaced.
So they need to start preparing for that contingency.
Yes, yes, because it will cost quite a few £1,000s to replace this roof, and if the person hasn't allowed for it, when it really does go beyond repairing, they're then caught out.
Ken, I know you do quite a lot of work and have done and still do work for insurance companies. What would they say if they came out to a roof like this?
Yes, and this is a sort of roof that we get told to red box. Is when a roof is beyond repair because of the age and lack of maintenance, we red box the roof, and a person in the house, the homeowner, will get a letter saying their roof is not insured anymore because it needs to be replaced for a new roof. The insurance companies won't send a roofer out there 4 or 5 times a year replacing broken tiles when the roof needs to be replaced. So this person really is on very borrowed time to get this roof put back to how it should be, a new roof. Again, more pictures of this is the ridge at the top of the house there that I just replaced. Some of the cement work that had fallen out. It's only a stopgap really, just to make the areas watertight so they won't leak into the property. Because underneath the tiles themselves is a roofing felt, and that is torn in quite a number of areas, which is allowing rain to get into the property.
And obviously that could obviously cost more in terms of internal damage.
Yes, it will. Yes, and say if the insurance company do send the assessor out and he goes onto the roof and looks at it properly, he'll say that everything is void because the roof really is beyond repair. It needs to be replaced. Probably, I'd say 5 to 7 years at the most. That roof had to be replaced with a new roof. But I think up until then she might have problems with this. Going by the picture we can see here of the broken tiles, this will happen quite normally now as the wind rocks the tiles. They're so brittle they just break.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks for that.
Thank you very much.